you have a common friend who set the two of you up.
Yeah.
But you already have a D2C brand. You were running Caffeine. What made you want to do this a second time over?
So we were very clear that Caffeine is a body care brand. We'll definitely venture out in a face care. So Hyphen is a outright face care brand, which essentially means we make everything face care. All your face washes, serums, moisturizers. And Caffeine does everything body washes, body lotions, right? So the second brand was always in the plate. The first time we were meeting. The meeting was about 1 hour. We scheduled 1 hour slot. We'll hear each other out and let's see how that goes. The meeting went on for good 4 hours. And just after the room, I think she also said to Dhruv that this is it. These are the partners.
So that was it. One meeting and it
One
was
meeting.
done.
all engineers, by the way.
I know, six engineers, right?
So, yeah.
Wow. So it was done in that one meeting.
So I was like, listen, do not take me like a celebrity. I want to be an entrepreneur here. So don't think like I will not get into everything.
From that meeting to actually getting things off the ground, how long did it take?
I think it
1 year.
was a year.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we actually launched the brand. We met around my birthday 1 year, and then we launched our brand on my birthday the next year.
Was that by design?
It happened to be. I mean, we had to put a deadline, right? So I was
Right.
like, if we have to put a deadline, let's put this as the deadline. Give me a birthday gift.
Do you now envision yourselves being on actual shelves anytime soon? Is that part of the plan, the offline push?
We would someday. We believe
What is someday?
offline. We believe
Is it tricky?
It's a
path.
very, very tricky path. If a large beauty company has taken 50 years to set up their distribution, we need to acknowledge the fact that it is very, very hard to set up offline distribution. We would use data to optimize our offline play, but we still believe online is growing at 20% CAGR. We are still very small as compared to the kind of ambition we have, at least in online. So there's still a long way in online.
You know, it's ringing the bell is probably the big milestone for every entrepreneur, and many are taking that route. And it's probably a little bit like a big movie release for you. Is that what you're looking forward to as well? IPOing this business at a few years down the line?
Yeah, I mean, eventually that's the dream. But I also feel like, you know, we keep chatting and sometimes he's also like sussing, like, what am I thinking in 2 years, 3 years? Like, do you feel like it's like why are you doing this? You know, as an actor, like he keeps asking me this question, and I always feel like I'm doing this to build legacy, honestly. I want it to be like, when I say I want it to be globally known in a Sephora store, I want it to be that because I want that Indian brand to come out and be known, and that neon bottle be seen on people's shelves.
India's $21 billion beauty and personal care market is amongst the fastest growing in the world, set to reach $34 billion by 2028, with skincare leading the charge at a 13% CAGR. And betting big on this opportunity are our guests on the show today. Hello and welcome to Young Turks Reloaded. I'm Shereen Bhan. Today we have with us two individuals who launched a skincare brand called Hyphen. In fact, launched just 2 years ago, Hyphen claims it is one of India's fastest growing D2C skincare brands, clocking 100 crore rupees in an annual run rate in its very first year and now eyeing 400 crore rupees. But what does it take to turn a celebrity-backed brand into one that's truly consumer loved? Joining me to answer that question is Kriti Sanon, engineer, entertainer, and now entrepreneur, also the co-founder and chief custom officer at Hyphen, and with her, Tarun Sharma, the brain behind another D2C beauty brand that you saw on Young Turks, Caffeine, and now also the co-founder and CEO of Hyphen. Kriti and Tarun, what an absolute pleasure. Thanks very much for joining us here on Young Turks Reloaded. I want to start by asking you, engineer to start with, I mean, and then entertainer, and now an entrepreneur. I mean, let's go back to the engineering part. How did that happen?
I mean, honestly, I've always been a studious kid. My mother's a physics professor. My dad's a CA. Education was very, very important in my household. And I had an inclination towards science. And I think, you know, like in Three Idiots, sometimes like you don't know what you want to do. And you just gotta choose at that point, like where do you go? And for me, I was like, okay, let's take up science and let's see what happens. I like computer science. Maybe I can become a software engineer, not knowing what a software engineer does. And then ended up getting electronics and communication. Such was fate. But I really believe in destiny. And I feel like you should always keep dreaming, find your passion. And I'm really glad that I finally somehow found my passion in acting, because today I don't think I could have done anything else better.
You know, speaking of acting, and this is a new role that you're playing as an entrepreneur, how serious are you about this?
I'm very serious about all my roles, let me tell you that. I'm a Leo, I'm a control freak at times.
Like
oh,
me.
really?
Yes.
Yeah. So for me, it is very, very important to give my 100% to whatever I do, otherwise I can't do it. So it has to come from a place of passion. And this one did too. In 2020, when I hit my 30, I was like, oh my God, I need to take care of my skin more than I used to. And I really got into skincare heavily. I started, and being an engineer, being that studious front bencher.
So you were looking at all the ingredients?
I was looking at all the ingredients. I was finding, I was understanding the ingredients. I was ordering products from abroad, from everywhere, you know, trying it on myself, seeing what works for me. And then I kind of got really obsessively passionate about skincare, so much so that my mom was like, every second day there are these parcels coming in. What are you doing with these products?
So you did well for the courier industry.
I did. At that point, yes, I did. So I really, really obsessively got passionate about skincare, and I found a gap. Firstly, I felt like there was a dearth of really, really good quality, credible products that had, you know, actives as well as, like, you know, natural ingredients that were combined. And secondly, I was tired of layering 10 serums, you know. I was like, oh, niacinamide is interesting. Okay, vitamin C is interesting. Oh, if I have pigmentation, I need to put like tranexamic acid. But you can't layer 5 serums and then go on, you know, every single day. So I was like, why can't I put like really good ingredients that are meant for one concern in one bottle together and make life simpler? And that was my thought, you know. I don't like putting a moisturizer and then an SPF in the morning. You're running, you don't have time. I wanted a moisturizing SPF. So that was my idea, and that's when I kind of met them, my true partners.
But how did that come about? I mean, when did you become... You said you were obsessively passionate about your skincare, which led you to kind of do all of this experimentation. But when did it become a business idea, that this is actually what you want to invest your time, perhaps money, into as well?
See, when I found that gap, I felt like, why can't I create it? You know, when I have this much passion, when I have knowledge, when I have an idea of combining ingredients and putting them in one bottle to solve for one concern, solving multiple concerns in one product, you know, making it simpler and also getting like credible ingredients in a bottle. I felt like that was an idea that was missing here, and I wanted to create my own brand, so that even I'm not ordering from abroad anymore.
So it started with the idea of you being the consumer for yourself, essentially.
Absolutely. I was like listing my issues, and then I was like, hey, this can become an idea of a brand, and this can actually translate into making other people's lives simpler as well.
So Tarun, then how did the meeting happen? I believe that you have a common friend who set the two of you up. But you already have a D2C brand. You were running M Caffeine. What made you want to do this a second time over?
So this space is not a winner's take all market, right? And brands are typically like babies. You can't have one brand doing everything for you, right? Effectively, these are people. M Caffeine is a great body care brand. But, you know, seldom you would find one brand doing all your face care, hair care, body care, cosmetic, perfume concerns, right? So we're very clear that M Caffeine is a body care brand. We'll definitely venture out in a face care. So Hyphen is a outright face care brand, which essentially means we make everything face care. All your face washes, serums, moisturizers, and M Caffeine does everything: body washes, body lotions, right? So the second brand was always in the play. Now, how did the marriage happen? I think Dhruv, who is a common connect, texted one day, and out of the blue he texted that, you know, there's this video, why don't you guys have a look at it? And obviously he had things in his mind. We looked at it and we really liked it, and what we realized is that very few people can speak the language of chemistry and it should come from a place of passion, right?
Yeah.
You can read the ingredients, but how do you know the history of ingredients? How do you know that how those 10 ingredients marry each other and give you the best serum for your concern? We really liked the video, and then we said, why should we not meet her and
you
see?
saw my notes?
We saw
There
your
were
notes.
notes as
Yeah,
well.
I sent
we
notes.
saw the notes when we met her. So we met in Dhruv's office, and we heard her out that she was extremely passionate about what she wanted to create, but at the same time
Did she come with a business plan though?
she came with a lot of ideas, which should be the starting point, because we all will share our own expertise. So she will bring the passion.
Yeah.
We might bring the planning into it.
Yeah.
What we realized is that whatever she wanted to create was intersecting with the blueprint which we had.
Right.
And we have never spoken. This is the first time we are meeting. The meeting was about 1 hour. We scheduled 1 hour slot. We'll hear each other out, and let's see how that goes. The meeting went on for good 4 hours. And just after the room, I think she also said to Dhruv that this is it. These are the partners.
So that was it. One meeting and it
One
was
So
done.
all engineers, by the way.
I
Yeah.
know six
Yeah.
engineers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Wow. So it was done in that one meeting.
One meeting. And
I
then we
think
ironed
I
out.
think when you're finding a partner, of course, to find common ground of passion and what you want to create, and compatibility, like in a relationship. It's also the energy. I feel like in the room, I just felt their energy. Everything was so real. Everything was so candid. For me also, I was like, listen, do not take me like a celebrity. I want to be an entrepreneur here. So don't think like I will not get into everything. I'm going to get into everything.
Huh. Did
and
that
I think
scare
that
you?
was
Partners
I
who can
sometimes scare
challenge
people.
you are the best partners, right? I mean, look at what Dipinder Goyal has just shared as an announcement of the new CEO. The guy could challenge him in every meeting, right? So we want partners who can challenge us, but they should come from a place of expertise or passion.
Yeah.
She was coming from a place of passion, and we could see that she's gonna push the envelope on the product development part. Great for the brand, because that's what we want. We could see that, whenever we would come out with some of our learnings basis, the 7 years, we could see that she will be very flexible. So you need people who are flexible, but at the same time extremely aggressive about their points.
Yeah.
That's the best combination.
So from that meeting to actually getting things off the ground, how long did it take?
I think it
1
took
year.
us a year.
Yes.
So
Okay.
we actually launched the brand. We met around my birthday 1 year, and then we launched our brand on my birthday the next year.
Huh.
So
Was
Hyphen
that
and
by
I share my
was
birthday.
that by design?
It happened to be. I mean, we had to put a deadline, right? So I was
Right.
like, if we have to put a deadline, let's put this as the deadline. Give me a birthday gift. Or
That-
let's just launch
You've given
it.
yourself a birthday gift, a pretty big
Yeah.
one, a pretty big one at that. But it's a space that is very, very competitive at this
Very
point in time. You've got celebrities who are also running their own D2C brands. You've, of course, got large incumbents that are also getting into the D2C space. So what was it that you thought in terms of positioning that would differentiate you from everybody else in the market?
See, I think firstly, whenever someone hears of a celebrity brand, their expectation is high price. And I think I would give it to Tarun on this, because in my head also, I wanted to make it affordable, but I think he had the right vision for where the price should be put, where he was like, it needs to be in this bracket. We wanted to create high quality products hyphened with affordability, because I also wanted that girl in, living in Patparganj to be able to use hyphen, and I didn't want to make it only for me.
Yeah.
So I think when we hit the right products with the right pricing is where I feel like that's the USP of Hyphen. That's the reason why the brand has been loved and has grown so fast.
Well, I'll get to the numbers in just a second. But, on the back end, to be able to put something like this together in a year, even though you'd already got that 7 years of execution experience with M Caffeine, what did it actually take to be able to set this up from an R&D point of view, from a manufacturing perspective? I mean, give us the nuts and bolts of how that kind of fell into place.
So I think it gets married to the proposition which you were asking. So good product at right price is the base thematics at which
Yeah.
we work, right? And in India, it matters. But I think at core, what we realized over the last 15 years, if you would look at the waves, one was the Ayurveda wave, then was the natural wave, then was the science wave. Everybody was talking active. Everything was acids, right?
Yeah.
But when you dip into consumer's head, nature is suspicious. Because at the end of the day, how do you preserve it for 24 months, expiry, so on and so forth.
Also, sometimes you feel like, pata nahi kitna kaam karega, you know?
Correct. I mean,
You don't
how
know.
much,
Yeah.
how much
How
is that
effective?
natural ingredient which you're claiming on the pack is there? At the same time, science is scary, right? Because it's science. It's coming from the other part of the world, right? What we realized in our consumer calls is that a combination of the power of nature and potency of science might be the most strengthened solution, because consumers want a solution for their skin concern, but they also want that solution to be used over a long period of time. You can't be using something which you're scared of for 10 years. But at the same time, something which is suspicious, you won't be using maybe for 30 days even. So that's the construct of Hyphen. So you're hyphenating nature and science. And that's
Who came
why
up
it's
with the
Hyphen.
name?
Kriti.
I did.
You did.
Yeah.
Why Hyphen?
7 months of going on Pinterest and finding beautiful words for self-care. I went mad. I think we had so many discussions. And
What were the alternatives?
I mean, they were not even worth mentioning, to be honest. But when I came across Hyphen, I just felt like it kind of went with our brand so well.
Yeah.
It went with the idea of power of nature, hyphening with potency of science. It went with the idea of hyphening different ingredients for the same concern, hyphening different uses of a product, hydrating as well as SPF. You know, it kind of was. I also believe in hyphening things to your life. You know, whether it's engineering, acting, entrepreneurship,
Entertainment, entrepreneurship.
yeah, everything. So why can't you have it all? You can.
All at the same time, though?
Can.
You think?
You just need to dream. You can.
Well, yes, you need to dream, but you also need to then
Work towards it,
work
of
towards
course.
putting
Yeah.
all of that into play.
course.
But, you know, it's now been, what, a 2-year journey
2-year
since the
journey.
time
Yeah.
that you
2 years
launched.
since launch, yes.
Yeah, since launch.
What makes you believe you have the right to win? You know, I said that the claim is that you're one of the fastest growing
Yeah.
D2C brands in the skincare market today. What do you believe gives you the right to win?
I think in brand world, the right to win is not one thing. Right? So if you're a marketplace or a retailer, your
Yeah.
right to win can be your real estate. Right to win can be your pricing, sabse sasta, so on and so forth, right? In brand world, wherein you're creating a product, but effectively you're creating an emotional currency. And that's invisible. So when it gets created, you can't see it. Whenever it gets diminished, you can't see it. So that's the hardest part to build in a brand, right? So there's no one magic rule. The magic lies in how do you do each and everything from the lens of consumer. Nobody knows better than the consumers. But consumers will not be able to articulate, because then what will you do?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you have to figure out that out.
But did you do any consumer
Yeah.
research, insights, etc. before you actually
We-
started?
We still, me and my partner Vaishali, who handles everything on the growth side, we would still talk to about 500 consumers a
Yeah, there's
month.
a KYC that.
Right? She would speak to consumers. She would read
yeah,
comments.
yeah.
You actually spoke to consumers on the phone, met them personally?
So we've done various Zoom calls with like a bunch of consumers together. I've met a lot of consumers as well.
Last week.
Yeah, last week itself.
And do they know they're going to be speaking to you? I mean, what is that reaction like?
I mean,
when
I
you
don't know
suddenly
if it's
come
kept
onto
a
a
surprise.
Zoom,
No,
when you
last time
suddenly
when I
come
met
onto a
them,
Zoom
it
call.
was a surprise.
Huh.
They
Yeah.
thought they were coming for a Hyphen event, and they didn't expect me to turn up there. Actually, I've cut the 2-year cake with them as well.
Huh.
But yeah, I feel like social media is such a
Powerful tool.
huge
Yeah.
platform, you know, to interact with consumers. I think being the chief customer officer, for me, I love interacting with them, commenting, replying on what they're asking. They ask so many questions on our posts. You know, I personally also reply to them. There are so many times when we are thinking, okay, what next? You know, what product should we make next? And I randomly put a story or a post saying that, guys, we're thinking what should we make next? So what do you want next?
Huh.
Because we're making it for you. And there are so many interesting comments and replies that come. So many of our products, we've sort of taken ideas from them as well.
Crowdsource the ideas.
Absolutely. Also, when we have a specific concern, like, you know, pigmentation is a particular concern which not everyone has. So it can only be tested on people who actually have that issue. So to find those customers, those consumers, and sort of, we pre-tested, we send them our, you know, samples. Instead of just me testing it, it also went to them. And actually, we also shot a campaign of the pigmentation range with them. So yeah, I feel I completely agree with him. I feel like it's very important to constantly take feedback, because what may work on one skin type may not work on the other.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking about feedback, and you talked about social media, I think a large part of the D2C revolution that we're seeing has been powered by social media,
It
right?
is.
The ability to be able to target customers, reach customers directly, talk and engage with customers directly. Would this D2C phenomena be the phenomena that it is if it wasn't for things like Instagram today?
It would have been very hard. I think Instagram, YouTube brings in a lot of discovery. Amazon, Flipkart, Nykaa, now quick commerce brings in a lot of distribution. So if you go back in time, internet came, then internet became cheaper, smartphones kind of got exploded. That enabled distribution. Now I can order anything on
Yeah.
Amazon, but
Yeah.
I still don't know how to explore the product. So Amazon was the exploration, but suddenly Instagram and YouTube kind of popped out on the back of very cheap internet,
Yeah.
globally the cheapest
Yeah.
internet, and that enabled discovery. So when you club discovery and distribution, which in the older world
Yeah,
was a TV ad and your physical store.
Yeah, and distribution was the big moat
Yeah.
for all the
For all
large
the large
FMCG
guys,
companies. I
right.
mean, that was the big
Right.
muscle.
And now you can build your own distribution. So, for example, Hyphen, 53% of our sales could come from our own website and app, which essentially means at a very large scale. And just to give you a data point, a large company would do a consumer research of 5,000 people, 10,000 people.
Yeah.
We get at least 3 million hits on our website and app, which is, if you just look at from a data parlance, it's such a big
Yeah.
unfair advantage.
Yeah.
Couldn't have happened if you...
He's calling it unfair,
Unfair.
also.
I know,
It is.
fair. Well,
have
that's
to-
your leverage.
You have to
That-
do a lot of hard work to create that unfair
Yeah,
advantage,
Yeah, data.
right? And effectively, then data starts powering each and every decision of yours, whether to what to launch, when to launch,
Yeah.
what pricing, what kind of ingredients. And D2C could not have been there if you wouldn't have that discovery layer. So
That's true.
But since we're talking about data, we're talking about the use of technology. How much are you, A, using technology today, and B, everyone's talking about what AI is going to do to different sectors. Now, personalized beauty is the big trend that everyone's sort of cashing in on. Is that something that you're moving towards? Is that part of the business plan or the vision that you have?
Personalized beauty is
I
what?
think, so personalized beauty is, I will take all your inputs
Yeah.
and then I'll co-customize
And then do
the
something
product.
for you specifically. Yeah.
So US में there are like
hard to do for
very, very
skincare.
hard.
At scale.
Yeah.
At scale. Yeah.
very, very hard to do. And it also restricts the brand. It restricts the brand for not using the distribution which is not customized for you, right? So I think we are a product of discovery. So D2C does a lot of discovery and also does sales. But quick commerce, Amazon, Flipkart, Nykaa are incredible partners to us, right? So we would want to use distribution and at some point of time offline.
I was just coming to that. I mean, do you now envision yourselves being on actual shelves anytime soon? Is that part of the plan, the offline push?
We would someday. We believe
What is someday?
offline. We believe
Is it tricky?
is a
path.
very, very tricky path.
Yeah.
If a large beauty company has taken 50 years to set up their
Yeah.
distribution, we need to acknowledge the fact that it is very, very hard to set up offline distribution. What we have is the power of data. So I would precisely know how many people are buying in Khar, what product, at what price, at what time.
So
Yeah.
whether it makes sense for you to actually set up
To
shop
actually
here
go
or
there or
not.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we would use data to
Yeah.
optimize our offline play, but we still believe online is growing at 20% CAGR. We are still very small as compared to the kind of ambition we have, at least in online. So there's still a long way in online. At
See,
right point,
offline is definitely there in our dream.
Huh.
That
your
I would
vision
say.
board.
On my vision board, it's there. On my vision board, even like being in Sephora globally is also there.
Really?
So yeah, so the vision board has a lot of things and things will happen. But I think when the time is right, because as he's saying, it's one needs that kind of data and that kind of distribution to be sure of, okay, now I can actually go into the stores.
When you actually finally decided that you were going to do this and you took the plunge and you started the company, did you worry about what the film crowd would perceive it to be? Whether you were then going to move out of films to do this full time, or was this going to be a side hustle? Did that ever weigh on your mind as to how this would be perceived by the film world?
Not at all. In fact, I feel like being who I am, being the actor, having the influence that I do, fortunately, helps the brand in many ways. And I want to use that power and that influence in, building something, creating something that, that can also help other people in their lives. So no, and I've always actually questioned this, that whenever we're asked, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Yeah.
Why is there only one answer?
Yeah.
Why can't you be many things?
Yeah.
And I feel like people should change that. You can be many things. You can, you don't have to stick to just one profession. You can also, as long as you can find the time and the passion for something else, you can do it. So yeah, I still am acting. When I come back from my shoot, I have samples waiting to try for Hyphen. There is a constant group that wakes up at night because I'm coming back home at night, and I'm messaging on the group at night. So when you really want to do something, you find time for it.
And you're not the only one who's doing something in the world of entrepreneurship. Many of your peers and colleagues are doing exactly that. I mean, from Deepika to Alia to Katrina, and many in exactly the space that you're in. Why do you think that's the case today? Why are so many female entertainers, actors, choosing to turn entrepreneur as well? And I also go back to, the era when we didn't have social media, and film personalities were not that accessible. It was always this mystique and enigma around the people that you saw on screen but never really could connect with in real life. Do you believe that that's changed with your generation, and of course with social media, etc. as well?
Absolutely. With social media, I think being more relevant, connecting to your audiences, that's become more than what it used to be ever. And you've named a lot of females, but I feel like women are multitaskers anyways.
Yes, that they are.
Yeah, so I'm glad all of them are doing it, and why not?
I'm trying to understand, is it also part of a de-risking strategy? Because you've always had this perception that, especially in Bollywood, after a certain point, the female parts, the good meaty female parts, don't come. Is this in a way also a de-risking strategy on the part of your generation of entertainers?
I don't think so, because I feel like now if you see, women are actually working. The OTT as a platform has opened up so many opportunities. Yeah. Women are working at every age, so, and there are so many good parts now being written for women, and people are really going and watching it. So I don't think it's coming from a place of fear.
Yeah.
I think it's just coming from a place of hunger to do more, to kind of build more. And all of them who you've named are, creative. I think actors are in general creative. So sometimes you feel like creating and being a newcomer in another place, which is exciting.
And I think the avenues have opened up. So it's not just about how many actors and actresses are kind of de-risking or perception-wise de-risking. I think if you just look back the last 10 years of data, in beauty only, when we started MCaffeine, it was like 9,800 brands in beauty. Now there are 71,000 brands. So now when you do
71,000, really?
Recorded. Wow. So there are more avenues to do stuff. So ambitious people will always find their avenues.
Yeah.
So I think it's just the outcome of that.
So let's talk about manufacturing. Let's talk about R&D. I mean, 6 engineers actually doing this, but how many are actually working on the formulations? How many are actually working on the product? Where do you do your R&D? Where do you do your manufacturing?
So we formulate all our products. We have a very large R&D team. We have a 3-pillar kind of a system in R&D. We have very senior advisors who would have worked with all your big beauty companies. They advise us on top-level chemistry. So top-level chemistry would mean how do you design the product in terms of its formulation. Then we have an in-house lab and an in-house team who would iterate back a lot. But we would also partner with sizable global labs to keep on reformulating the iterations which our internal team has done. In these 3 pillars, the right formulation comes out. Obviously, there is a research which happens on what to make, how to make this is how we do it. And we still believe that becomes our advantage over a period of time. So on records, we would have more than 1,000 formulations which we would have created on our own. So we have a mini R&D company, so to say, right? And that's why we keep on focusing.
With patents or no patents yet?
6 patents.
You do have 6 patents, okay. Filed in India?
Yeah, filed in India.
Okay.
So we're big believers of having IP as a strong value driver for the company. But I think the core logic of having R&D in-house and, focusing right from day one and extensively scaling up is over a period of time, when consumers give you feedback or something happens macro in the country or in the geography of you're placed, you have the ability to know what piece of the product you would change to get to that desired output. For example, in India, in the last 6 years, we have become more warmer, more hotter as a country. So your product textures will have to adapt to the weather
Oh,
today.
the world is getting warmer. Yeah.
And India statistically would be about 3 months for 40% of India, right? So you have to suddenly tweak your formulations when these things happen. If you don't know your formulations, your ability to tweak becomes easy, right? And hence we at core focus most amount of product, and we keep on saying that marketing is flirting, product is marriage. So at the end of the day, it'll have
Marketing is flirting, product is marriage.
So we keep on focusing on it, but we don't do manufacturing. We believe it's an asset heavy model. We still believe the ROCE which we can make on the capital employed will be much higher in an asset light model. So we would partner with large scale manufacturing units who would have state of the art facility, give them their R formulation, finalize a manufacturing process, and they can partner with us
So
on a
what's the
job.
capacity that you're catering to at this point in time?
We would serve, both brands combined, we would serve close to about 4.5-5 crore units a year.
Okay.
So that's roughly 40 lakhs a month, which is distributed amongst 5-6 core manufacturing units. And we work with them closely to scale them up from a semi-automatic machine or a facility to an automatic machine. Because if they become efficient, we'll be efficient. If they become efficient, cost synergies will also kind of fall into place.
So I'm curious, did you actually invest capital when you started off? Did you put your money? I mean, you did.
Yeah.
And how, may I ask how much?
enough for us to scale in the first year.
Enough for you to scale in the first year. But did you have targets that you wanted to hit? As I pointed out at the start, I believe in year one, you touched 100 crores in terms of your revenue run rate.
Yeah.
Was that part of the vision board?
Yeah, absolutely. It was. And let me tell you, now what started happening is that in the first year, actually 100 crore came from me as well as him. And then in the second year, whatever he says, I add a little and I say it, because I'm like, whatever he's saying, he's sure that he can achieve it. Let's aim higher.
And she keeps on pushing.
Yeah.
And I would say one number, so next 4 years we'll do this. We can, but can we do this? And then that's how.
Like, so
that's
what,
how
like,
we
What is the target she set for you now?
1,000 crores in the next 4 years,
No,
which
this
I've
is his
set
target.
myself on. She's pushing for 1,200. We'll see where we are.
I'm saying 1,000 CR, so matlab we can achieve in like 2-3 years. Yeah. So I have to see, you got to dream bigger.
Yes. So she's putting the pressure on you to deliver that number.
See, honestly, like for this year, we thought of 400 CR in 2 more years. Like,
so you're ahead of schedule.
Yeah, and it
Much
happened
ahead
in
of
1 year. So I believe in my team, and I know that we can do it
And
together.
good partners push each other.
They certainly do, and they grow together as well.
Yeah.
But has it surprised you, the fact that it's taken off as it has?
No, it's not surprised me, but I was confident, but sometimes you hear stories of a lot of brands coming up, being a cluttered market, and you somehow, I think people make you feel like it's not possible or it's too big a dream. And I don't think I was surprised. I was just happy and excited about it.
What were you most nervous about? If you were nervous about anything at all?
I think the fact that
Not keeping up with the scale up which consumers are driving it.
Yeah, that, but I think for me, when we started this brand, the only thing I was most nervous about was, sometimes when it comes from a celebrity, I think there is a lot of scrutiny that happens. And I knew that our products were good. So I didn't want it to kind of get unnecessary negativity because of my name being attached to Hyphen, and fortunately, I think some highs and lows we all have, and none
It's
of
a part
that
of the
really
journey.
happened.
Yeah, that is of course part of being an entrepreneur.
But I always feel like, I feel like you need to kind of keep growing and keep learning, and there's always scope for improvement, and I'm really happy that, like, the first 3 products that we launched, whatever feedback we've gotten, we've kind of reformulated them, and we've taken the feedback in positively, and we've actually come back with better products. So I feel like our consumers also help us make the brand and the products better.
You know, you talked about scrutiny, and I think women are often scrutinized much more than men are. How have you dealt with that through the course of your career of being an entertainer, of being there? You know, I mean, every move of yours is watched, every move of yours is on video in some form or fashion. How do you cope with that?
I think you just need to have a strong set of people that ground you, you know, that kind of know the core of you. And I feel like you can't avoid the noise, but you can filter it. You can filter, you can take what is good. And whatever.
What do you do with what's bad?
Ignore it, block it. We have a block button on Instagram on every page. So yeah, I don't let it reach my heart, honestly. It doesn't. I'm not even someone who goes and, I mean, it's only actually Hyphen's page and Hyphen's post that I kind of read the comments. Otherwise, I don't go in detail of what people are saying. So that's been there. But I just feel like, you know, I've managed to preserve, touch wood, till now, I've managed to preserve the core of me that came from Delhi. You know, the middle class.
You're still a Dilli wala at heart.
Yeah, I'm completely Dilli wali, that simple middle class girl at home who's jhalla, who's dressed in like, you know, shorts and t-shirt that should be thrown. And my mom is looking at me and being like, you don't even look like an actor, you know? And or she comments sometimes when I step out that, why are you going out like this? At least like put something better on. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. So I feel like that has kept me grounded. And I don't want to let go of that ever.
Well, speaking of staying grounded, as far as the business is concerned, you know, a solid start.
Yeah.
But now in terms of scale, in terms of expansion, what's next? Besides, of course, the 1,000 crore or the 1,200 crore target that she set for you.
Strategically, we would really want to put a stronger place in the categories where we are not present.
So how many SKUs do you have currently?
We have close to about 31 active ones.
Okay.
Lip balm is a category where we hold a decent amount of market share. In some of the places we are bestsellers, top of the ranks. We are still working on the other categories because we again believe that brands are like people, right? So brands are not app downloads wherein you flush in capital and then you will get 1 million downloads, right? So it will happen step by step. We have acquired customers via lip balm. Now we are trying to tell them that, you know, why don't you test out our face washes and serums and moisturizers? And every 2-3 years, we're going to take a crack at one category, take a dominant position, and then move on to a different category while holding that position. So it's keeping our head down and building.
There's a lot of consolidation that we're already starting to see happen in this space. A lot of the big boys are swooping in and picking up the D2C companies. Are you building to be sold or are you building to last?
Nobody builds to be sold, but I think great things have happened to the space, whether it's Unilever is to minimalist, Nykaa is to dot and key, fantastic strategic story, Plix is to Marico. So consolidation has always happened. Consumer brands have been most exitable, right? Unlike tech businesses. We believe at an institution level, if we have, you know, 2-3 category core commands, India is large enough to create a multi-thousand crore institution. And at a good double-digit PAT, it's a great listable story where markets will not hate you, right? Growing at 15% year-on-year on top line and 10% on bottom line for 10 years. Looks boring, but gives us the fantastic...
No, nothing boring about that at all. Nothing boring about that at all.
Fantastic edge in the market. And India has not seen pure play beauty companies to be listed, right? There's Nykaa, which is primarily a retailer. Hunasa, who have shown the path to how to do it. But I think India market is large enough. So we think we will IPO. 3 to 4 years from now, we'll be in a position. Now, our core brand is very profitable. Hyphen, we are investing. At an institution level, we are healthy.
Do you need capital?
No.
At this point, you are not looking at raising capital to invest in the business?
We are profitable. We are cash flow positive. We are growing. I think consumers are the best fundraisers, we believe. So
and no discounting there?
No discounting there. No discounting there. Pure play fundraise from consumers in the form of revenue. And I think with 75% gross margins, you need to be profitable, right? How much will you burn? So we believe a double-digit PAT is 2 years out for us. We are single-digit, healthy single-digit. We'll continue to invest in growth. And at an institution level, we would want to ring the bell.
it ringing the bell is probably the big milestone for every entrepreneur, and many are taking that route. And it's probably a little bit like a big movie release for you. Is that what you're looking forward to as well? IPOing this business a few years down the line?
Yeah, I mean, eventually that's the dream. But I also feel like, we keep chatting and sometimes he's also like sussing, like, what am I thinking in 2 years, 3 years? Like, do you feel like it's like why are you doing this? As an actor, like he keeps asking me this question, and I always feel like I'm doing this to build legacy, honestly. I want it to be like, when I say I want it to be globally known in a Sephora store, I want it to be that because I want that Indian brand to come out and be known, and that neon bottle be seen on people's shelves. So yeah, that is the dream.
So made in India for the world product.
Absolutely.
Like Kriti Sanon. Is that something that you're looking to do
Yeah,
as well? I mean, crossing over to perhaps...
As an actor?
Yeah, as an actor as well.
I mean, it's not something that I've ever said no to. I feel like if a great opportunity comes, I would love to. My heart is Desi and my heart is Bollywood. So yeah, I watch Hindi films more than English films in general. But yeah, if a great opportunity comes, why not?
What is being an entrepreneur in the last 2 years taught you? And you've only had highs so far, to be fair. So
No, I've had
really?
quite a few
what's been the big setback so far?
There have been many films that have not worked.
No, not the films. I'm talking about entrepreneurship. I'm saying you've had.
I was talking about being an actor. Yeah, Touchwood. No, nothing like that. Hyphen. There've not been lows. Of course, there are products that work better than you expect. There are products that don't work as well as you expect, and I feel like every story of every product has a bit of a learning. For example, I was just discussing with him that my recent learning has been the fact that when we initially launched, I'm the guinea pig. I test all the products on me and I approve the products. I'm a dry skin girl. 80% of the people, I don't know, around me are dry skin people. It's hard for me to find people who have oily skin. And there were samples that would sometimes come and I'd be like, it's really nice, but can you add a little more hydration in this one? And they would add the hydration, I would love it, and we would approve it. Over the time, we realized that 60-65% of Indian population actually is oily skin. And the product that I may be using and loving may not be working for a larger section. So like our first launch, the All I Need sunscreen that we launched, which was a moisturizing SPF, there was a feedback of some people saying that it's too heavy, and we kind of realized that it's happening probably because of me. And then we were like, okay, we need to solve this. Unless and until we're pitching hydration as the main, sort of giveaway by a product, my team was like, ma'am, whatever you find a little less hydrating, we'll approve that. So we were like, fine. So this has been a learning. It's interesting. It's interesting that everyone's skin is so different. And while I am the guinea pig, I can't be the guinea pig for all products. So there's been extensive clinical testing as well as consumer testing, and very well researched. And I feel like we've come back with a better product now.
We've institutionalized the entire process.
So it's not just her doing the testing.
No,
it should always
but
be
you gotta
her.
take it. If I'm doing testing on me being an actor, that means something.
No, I agree. I agree. But are there entrepreneurs that you look up to? Are there companies that you aspire to kind of emulate as well in their culture, in their vision, in what they've been able to do?
I don't think I ever had any particular name in my mind. I feel like different companies have made really good different products, and I couldn't find one that had nature and science. Honestly.
When we started.
I didn't.
The big differentiator. So, how much time do you now genuinely, actively invest in the business outside of what you're doing on film?
A lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, we have product calls that go on for like 3-4 hours. There's once a month where we meet for like a whole day to just discuss in the office. There are shoots that we do for different products, which are mostly at my place. Then apart from that, there's testing, there's marketing calls. I just had an Amazon event for Hyphen. So you
are deeply invested.
I never count the number of days, so I don't really know. But yeah. Of
And I
course.
think the mental involvement is very high because you can see that core group, WhatsApp group, being
Is
buzzing
buzzing.
all the time,
Yeah.
right? So I think it's not
How many
just
alarms do you have for her? I just saw that you have 12 alarms that you switched off. How many alarms are linked
for
to
her. I should not because she keeps on buzzing the WhatsApp group. At 12 in the night, she would post that, guys, can we launch this? Can we launch that? There's a WhatsApp group and then there's Instagram group, which both keep on buzzing, which essentially means she's always thinking about the brand.
Yeah.
And we have kind of systemized it that every
Yeah.
month we will set up a review meeting, which we will be very neutral about that review. But on a day-to-day basis, she would be speaking to the team pretty much
Yeah.
daily.
Also, my Instagram reels are all skincare now, so it's like.
Because the algorithm is
Yeah.
delivering what you wanted,
Of
right?
course.
So it's doing your
So
work
sometimes
for
it
you.
ends up helping also. You find some new ingredient and you're like, oh wow, this is interesting.
How
and then I
much,
send
how
it to
much
my
of
team.
a science geek have you now become because of the last 2 years?
I
Are you
wouldn't say
geeking out on?
science.
Are you geeking out on all the?
Yeah, right now I think my Instagram is full of skincare and healthcare and health supplements.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much, Tarun, and thank you very much, Kriti, for joining
Thank
us here
you,
on
thank
Young
you.
Turks Reloaded to share your startup story and talk to us about where you believe Hyphen is going to be headed in the next few years. We wish you the very best of luck and hopefully see you on Dalal Street someday as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Well, that's a wrap on this edition of Young Turks Reloaded. From all of us here on the team, thanks very much for watching. Do remember to tune into CNBC TV18 Access, CNBC TV18 Prime. We've got plenty more conversations there for you. From all of us, for now, goodbye. Thanks very much for watching.